Let's talk straight man to man. I'm Dr. Jonathan Prescott, board-certified urologist and men's health clinician. If you're past 50, that first cup of coffee can feel like jumper cables for the soul. But here's the twist. When coffee hits an already stressed system, it can flip your hormones the wrong way, spiking that morning cortisol and leaving testosterone sitting on the bench. The result? You get the buzz, then the dip, then the quiet frustration you don't mention out loud. This isn't about quitting coffee or turning your morning into a lab experiment. It's about one intentional teaspoon that changes how coffee behaves in your body, slowing the spike, smoothing the power curve, and giving you steadier focus, calmer nerves, and a sense of presence you can feel in your chest and your handshake. In the next parts, I'll show you exactly what to add, when to add it, and why it works. Without gimmicks. Without bro science. Before we dive deeper, two quick things to keep us honest and YouTube-friendly. This is education, not personal medical advice. Talk with your clinician before changing your routine, especially if you take meds for blood pressure, diabetes, or the prostate. Now, I need your help to get this message to the men who actually need it. Tap subscribe, hit the bell, and most importantly, press like right now. Think of that thumbs up as a vote for strong mornings and honest conversations. Drop a comment with a simple code so I know where you stand. 1 if you're ready to try the teaspoon method, 0 if you're still on the fence and want more proof. I read these and I answer the tough ones. And because I'm talking to seasoned American men who have carried a family, a career, and a country on their backs, here are 3 blessings for that like you just tapped. May your mornings run clean and quiet, no jitters, no crash, just steady horsepower. May your mind stay sharp and your word carry weight the way good men are remembered. May your strength be calm, your pulse unhurried, and your evenings still belong to you. If that sounds like the man you want to be at 60, 70, and beyond, stay with me. Next up, we'll expose why so many men lose their morning fire and how a single teaspoon hands it back. Every morning, millions of men wake up the same way, tired before the day even begins. The alarm buzzes, your eyes open heavy, your joints stiff, and your first move is to reach for that sacred mug of coffee, praying it'll flip the switch back on. But for many men over 50, that switch doesn't light up like it used to. The caffeine works for a while, then leaves you flat, foggy, and wondering what happened to the man who once woke up ready to conquer. What's really going on isn't just age, it's chemistry. Your body runs on a rhythm called the cortisol-testosterone cycle. In your younger years, this cycle was in perfect sync. Cortisol rose in the morning to wake you, testosterone followed to power you through the day. But decades of stress, late nights, poor sleep, blood sugar swings, and the quiet weight of responsibility have rewired that balance. Now, when cortisol surges too high, it locks testosterone behind a hormonal wall. And then you add coffee. Coffee pushes your adrenal glands to release even more cortisol. It's like stomping on the gas when the engine's already redlining. You get a burst, yes, but it's borrowed energy. By noon, you crash, your mood dips, your hands may shake, and you start craving another cup or something sweet. You're not just tired, you're trapped in a hormonal loop where stress dominates strength. That's not aging, that's mismanagement by modern life. In my years of practice, I've tested hundreds of men in their 50s, 60s, and 70s who thought they had low T. Most of them didn't have a testosterone production issue, they had a cortisol management issue. Their bodies still had the machinery to make testosterone, but the system was stuck in survival mode. And every extra jolt of caffeine only deepened that trench. Here's the hopeful part, this cycle can be flipped. When you give your body the right kind of fuel, not sugar, not stimulants, but nutrient-dense support that balances stress chemistry, your energy returns from the inside out. The spark you thought was lost, it's still there, hidden under layers of stress and routine. You don't need a miracle pill, you need to retrain your morning chemistry. And that's where the first teaspoon secret comes in. It's simple, natural, and it changes everything about how your body handles caffeine. It turns your morning cup from a stress spike into a slow, steady burn of calm power that lasts for hours. Before we get to it, I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me, does your coffee make you sharper or does it make you crash? Your feedback helps me tailor these episodes to what real men are actually feeling. Because the truth is, your morning doesn't have to drain you, it can rebuild you. Next, we'll explore the first teaspoon that transforms coffee from a crutch into a source of strength. The first teaspoon secret isn't something you'll find in a supplement aisle or a late-night ad. It's sitting quietly in your kitchen, waiting for you to remember how men used to eat before everything came in low-fat, sugar-laced boxes. I'm talking about pure fat, the clean, natural kind, coconut oil or ghee. Just 1 teaspoon can turn your morning coffee from a stress spike into a steady current of strength. I discovered this not in a lab, but in my own home. A few years ago, my father, Harold Prescott, was in his late 70s and struggling through mornings. He'd pour his usual black coffee, drink it fast, and spend the next hour pacing, jittery, lightheaded, and tired by noon. One morning I told him, "Dad, let me make your coffee my way." He gave me that skeptical look every old-school man gives his son when he's about to do something new. I stirred in a teaspoon of ghee and told him to drink it slow. That afternoon, he called me and said, "Son, I don't know what you did, but I haven't felt this calm in years." Here's why it worked. When you add high-quality coconut oil or ghee to coffee, you slow down how caffeine is absorbed. Instead of an instant jolt, you get a smooth release of energy that lasts for hours. These natural fats are loaded with medium-chain triglycerides, MCT, which your body converts directly into ketones, a clean, powerful fuel for both your brain and muscles. Unlike sugar, which gives you a spike and a crash, ketones feed your system evenly. You don't shake, you don't fade, you just move through your day with clarity. Even better, these fats buffer the cortisol surge that caffeine normally causes. Think of them as shock absorbers for your hormones. Your testosterone doesn't get suppressed, your blood sugar stays level, your focus sharpens. Men tell me they stop needing that second or third cup. They stop chasing energy because they've finally built a system that sustains it. One of my patients, Elliot, 63, put it perfectly. "Doc, for the first time in years, I didn't need to crash on the couch after lunch. My head stayed clear. I even felt like taking my wife out that night." That's the difference 1 teaspoon can make. And let's talk about fat burning, because that's where this becomes a game changer. As after 50, your metabolism naturally slows down. Your body prefers to burn sugar, but when you teach it to burn fat, you unlock a steadier, cleaner energy source. Coconut oil and ghee are like personal trainers for your metabolism. They nudge your body into fat-burning mode without fasting, dieting, or deprivation. You lose the belly slowly, naturally, not because you're starving it off, but because your chemistry finally remembers how to use fuel efficiently again. Gentlemen, your morning coffee shouldn't be a rescue mission. It should be a launch pad. When you use this first secret, that 1 teaspoon of clean fat, your coffee stops being an enemy of your hormones and starts becoming a partner in your strength. You'll notice calmer mornings, sharper focus, and energy that lasts beyond the morning rush. Now, if your biggest struggle isn't energy but that deep, fading drive, the spark that once lit you up inside, then the next teaspoon secret might be the one that changes everything. Because sometimes, it's not your body that's tired. It's your chemistry that's forgotten how to feel alive. Prescott, he said, "I'm not broken down, I still work out, I eat well, but the desire, it's gone. It's like my mind and body aren't speaking the same language anymore." Alan wasn't sick, depressed, or unmotivated. He was simply disconnected from the spark that once made him feel alive, that deep, inner current of masculine energy that says, "I'm here, I'm capable, I still want life." And that's when I introduced him to the second teaspoon secret, Maca root powder. Now let's be clear. Maca isn't a magic potion or a testosterone supplement. It's what scientists call an adaptogen, a plant that helps your body adapt to stress and rebalance itself naturally. It doesn't force hormone changes. It teaches your body how to remember balance. See, after 50, most men live in a constant tug-of-war between cortisol, the stress hormone, and testosterone, the vitality hormone. When cortisol dominates, testosterone can't do its job not because it's gone, but because it's being drowned out. You may still have the fuel tank, but stress has locked the ignition. Maca gently resets that chemistry. When you add 1 teaspoon of maca powder to your morning coffee, something powerful starts happening behind the scenes. It interacts with your body's HPA axis, that's your hormonal control center, and sends a subtle message. Ease up, let balance return. Cortisol levels begin to stabilize, which allows testosterone to rise naturally. You feel calmer but more alive, not hyped, centered. Men describe it the same way again and again. I don't just have more energy, I have more interest. My focus came back and my wife noticed before I did. I didn't change my routine, I just felt younger. And it's not just about libido. When testosterone and cortisol find their rhythm, your confidence follows, your motivation sharpens, you stand taller. You start enjoying moments instead of dragging yourself through them. That's what I call emotional vitality, a fire that burns steady, not wild. I've seen it in men from 50 to 80. One of my oldest patients, Mr. Hensley, 74, laughed as he told me, "Doc, my wife said I've been whistling in the mornings again. I didn't even notice." That's not just chemistry, that's reconnection, body, mind, and spirit waking up to the same rhythm again. Maca doesn't push you, it reminds you. It tells your biology, you still have it, you just forgot how to use it. Combined with your coffee, it smooths the caffeine's edge, grounds your mood, and brings back that quiet strength that men lose when stress wins. So if the first teaspoon gave you steady energy, this one reignites your inner engine. It's the difference between surviving the day and wanting to live it. But what if your battle isn't about drive or energy? What if it's about the stiffness, the creaks, the slow recovery that remind you of your age every time you move? Then you'll want to listen closely to the next part, because the third teaspoon doesn't just wake you up. It rebuilds you from the inside out. This next teaspoon secret isn't about energy or desire. It's about something deeper, the foundation holding it all together. Strength, recovery, mobility, even sleep, they all depend on one quiet hero that most men stop producing after 50, collagen. I learned this lesson watching someone close to me lose what I call the easy strength. My mentor, Dr. Thomas Reeves, was 74 when I noticed it. He was a brilliant physician, sharp as ever, but his body had started betraying him. His knees ached after short walks, his back tightened during lectures, and his once firm handshake had turned hesitant. One day he sighed and said, "Jonathan, the mind's willing, but the machine doesn't cooperate anymore." That's when I handed him a jar of collagen peptides and said, "Start adding a spoonful to your morning coffee every single day." He chuckled, thought I'd lost my mind, but he trusted me enough to try. 6 weeks later, he walked into my office with a grin and said, "My joints stopped complaining, my skin feels alive, and for the first time in years, I slept through the night." Here's the science behind that smile. Collagen is the most abundant protein in your body, the scaffolding that holds your muscles, tendons, joints, skin, and even your gut together. But after 50, collagen production drops fast. The result, soreness, stiffness, and recovery times that stretch longer than a football season. You start moving like a man older than your spirit. When you add 1 heaping teaspoon of collagen peptides to your coffee, you're giving your body the raw materials it's been starving for: amino acids like glycine, proline, and hydroxyproline. These are the building blocks your body uses to repair connective tissue and rebuild structure. Within weeks, most men feel the difference. The morning stiffness fades. The knees stop cracking and the back doesn't groan when you stand. You don't just move better, you feel younger in motion. But collagen's benefits don't stop at the joints. It's rich in glycine, a natural amino acid that calms your nervous system and promotes deep, restorative sleep. And here's the beautiful part. When you sleep better, your testosterone rises and cortisol drops. It's a full circle of renewal, energy by day, recovery by night. One of my patients, Mark, 68, told me, "Doc, I thought my best sleep was behind me. But ever since I started this, I wake up before my alarm rested." That's the power of restoring what time quietly eroded. Collagen doesn't give you a buzz or a rush. It works in silence, rebuilding, reinforcing, reminding your body that it still knows how to be strong. And there's something poetic about that, isn't there? Aging doesn't have to mean falling apart. It can mean rebuilding smarter. When you fuel your body with what it needs, you don't just extend your years, you improve the quality of every one of them. So now you've got 3 teaspoons, one for energy, one for drive, one for strength. But the real magic happens not in isolation, but in how they work together, how you learn to read your body and match your fuel to your rhythm. That's what we'll uncover next, why these 3 simple ingredients, when used in harmony, can completely rewrite how you age. After 30 years of working with men, one truth has never failed me. The body doesn't respond to fads, shortcuts, or one-size-fits-all tricks. It responds to balance. And that's exactly why these 3 teaspoon secrets, coconut oil or ghee, maca root, and collagen peptides, work so powerfully when they are used together. Each one supports a different part of your biology, but when combined, they create a rhythmic harmony that restores not just your hormones, but your sense of vitality as a whole man. Think of it as tuning a 3-part orchestra. The first teaspoon, coconut oil or ghee, steadies your energy. It teaches your metabolism to burn clean fuel, fat instead of sugar. That gives you calm focus instead of caffeine jitters. The second teaspoon, maca root, tunes your hormones. It brings cortisol and testosterone back into cooperation so your drive and mood stay steady through the day. And the third, collagen peptides, rebuilds the structure, the tendons, joints, and connective tissues that carry all that energy and desire through your body. Now here's the magic. When you start to cycle these intentionally, not rigidly, your body begins to respond with fluid intelligence. You stop fighting yourself. On days you need mental sharpness, you reach for ghee or coconut oil. On mornings when motivation feels flat, maca brings the spark. When your body aches or your sleep falters, collagen steps in to rebuild. You're no longer reacting, you're directing your body's chemistry. I learned this rhythm from one of my long-term patients, Robert, 64, a retired pilot who told me, "Doc, I don't want to feel superhuman. I just want to feel normal again." So we started simple, week 1 with coconut oil, week 2 with maca, week 3 with collagen. A month later, he walked in taller, sharper, smiling like a man who'd finally caught up with himself. His wife came with him, leaned across my desk and said, "Whatever you told him, don't you dare stop." That's when I realized this isn't supplementation, it's communication. You're talking to your body in its own language, 1 teaspoon at a time, and the more you listen, the better it responds. I tell my patients all the time, your body isn't broken, it's just waiting for consistency. When you give it what it needs in a pattern it understands, it repays you with energy, steadiness, and peace of mind. But now, let's make this more real. Because theory is one thing, results are another. And the best lessons don't come from me. They come from the men out there living it. That's why next we'll pause for something special, letters from real listeners, real questions, and honest challenges that every man over 50 has thought, but few have ever said out loud. Before we move on, I want to do something different. I get hundreds of comments, messages, and emails every month from men across America, and I read every single one. Some make me smile, some make me think, and a few hit so deep they remind me why I started this channel in the first place. So today, let's take a pause and respond to a few of you, the men living this journey in real time. Question 1 from Greg, 61, Ohio. Doctor Prescott, are you saying my black coffee is the reason I feel so drained every morning? I've been drinking it strong and straight for 40 years. Answer, Greg, black coffee isn't the villain, it's the context. Over the years, your stress system has gotten more sensitive and that caffeine spike, once harmless, now hits like a hammer. Add a teaspoon of coconut oil or ghee. It slows the absorption and smooths your power curve. You'll still get your morning kick, but without the crash. Question 2 from Henry, 68, Texas. Doc, I tried Maca powder for 2 weeks, but I didn't feel anything. Am I wasting my time? Answer, Henry, you're not wasting your time. You're teaching your body to listen again. Maca doesn't hit like caffeine. It rewires balance slowly, especially if your cortisol's been running high for years. Give it 4-6 weeks. When your wife notices before you do, that's when you'll know it's working. Question 3 from Marvin, 70, California. I don't get it. Isn't adding fat to coffee just extra calories? I'm trying to lose weight. Answer, fair question, Marvin. The kind of fat matters. Coconut oil and ghee aren't stored fat, they are fuel. They tell your body we're burning, not storing. Those calories feed your mitochondria, your energy factories, and help you burn your own fat. It's not about eating less, it's about burning better. Question 4 from Alex, 59. New York, Doc, this sounds too simple. 3 teaspoons can't change a man's life. Answer, you're right, Alex, it is simple. That's what makes it powerful. The body doesn't need complicated, it needs consistent. 3 teaspoons don't just change your biology, they change your morning psychology. You start your day in control, and when a man begins the day that way, everything else follows. Question 5 from Frank, 73, Florida. Can collagen really fix these old joints, or is that wishful thinking? Answer, Frank, wishful thinking can't rebuild cartilage, but glycine and proline can. Those amino acids from collagen are like sending construction workers to a site that's been abandoned for years. Give them time, they'll rebuild, you'll stand taller again. Question 6 from Dan, 65, Colorado. Doc, I tried your coffee ritual. My wife laughed. Now she drinks it too. Who's the patient now? Answer, Dan, that's what I call a success story disguised as a domestic takeover. When health becomes contagious, you've already won. To every man watching, keep your questions coming. I don't filter the tough ones, I want them. This isn't a monologue, it's a brotherhood. So if something I've said resonates or rubs you the wrong way, drop your thoughts in the comments. Because real change doesn't come from perfect answers, it comes from real conversations. And speaking of real, the next part is about something deeper than chemistry or coffee. It's about meaning, what this daily ritual truly does for your soul, not just your body. There's a moment every man knows, that quiet stretch before the day begins. The house still, the steam rising from your coffee. You sit there, half in thought, half in memory. For years, that moment might have been routine, but once you add that one intentional teaspoon, it becomes something sacred, a ritual of power, not just a habit. See, this isn't really about coffee. It's about taking back authorship of your life. Every stir of that spoon says, I'm not done yet. It's a declaration that you're still capable of rebuilding, not as you were, but as you're meant to be now. I tell my patients this all the time. Health isn't just numbers, hormones, or heart rates. It's presence. It's waking up and actually feeling like you belong in your own skin again. I think of David, 61, a carpenter from Oregon, who came to me feeling half alive. Doc, I'm tired of being a grumpy old man, he said. We didn't overhaul his diet or flood him with pills. We just began this morning ritual 1 teaspoon at a time. 3 weeks later, he looked at me and said, I didn't just get my energy back, I got myself back. That hit me, because that's what this is really about, identity. When a man's energy fades, his sense of self fades with it. But when you begin this ritual, slow, steady, deliberate, you're retraining more than chemistry. You're retraining your belief that you can still command your body, still lead your day, still matter in your own story. And that confidence ripples outward. Your patience grows, your focus sharpens, your relationships, especially with the people you love most, start to breathe again. You stop reacting and start responding. That's what calm, sustainable vitality does. It gives you room to be yourself again. Every teaspoon every morning is an act of self-respect, a reminder that your story isn't over, it's evolving. You're not the same man you were at 30, but you're also not a ghost of that man. You're stronger now, tempered, disciplined, aware. That's what I love about this ritual. It's not flashy, it's not loud, it's quiet power. Like the hum of an engine that doesn't strain anymore, it just runs right. And when that happens, when your mornings stop being survival and start being sacred, something beautiful unfolds. Your body begins to send signals of change. Subtle at first, but unmistakable. That's when you realize it's not theory anymore, it's transformation. So let's talk about those signals, how your body tells you it's waking up again, from the inside out. One of the most satisfying parts of my work is when a man reaches out, sometimes weeks after starting this ritual, and says, "Doc, I think something's happening, but it's not what I expected." That's exactly how transformation begins, not with fireworks, but with quiet proof your body is remembering how to work with you, not against you. The first sign is clarity. You'll notice it one morning when the fog just isn't there. You'll stand in your kitchen, coffee in hand, and feel present, not amped up, not shaky, calm, clear, and grounded. Your mind feels organized again. That's the point where caffeine stops being chaos and starts being chemistry you control. The next shift is stamina, not gym stamina, but life stamina. You'll make it through your day without crashing. You won't be watching the clock for a nap or your next cup. You'll catch yourself climbing stairs without that little voice muttering, "Careful." It's not that your body suddenly got younger. It's that your cells finally have stable fuel instead of the stress roller coaster. Then comes the spark, that unmistakable hum of masculinity returning. You start noticing subtle things, a steadier mood, a stronger step, a longer gaze in the mirror before you walk away. Your partner might notice before you do, the way your energy fills a room again, the way your humor comes back. It's not arrogance, it's aliveness. Your hormones are no longer fighting, they're collaborating. One man, Paul, 67, emailed me and said, "I didn't realize how much I'd shrunk into myself until I started standing tall again." That's not posture, that's power returning to its rightful owner. And then the final sign, the calm. It's not dramatic, it's not loud. It's the peace that comes when you wake up and don't brace for the day anymore. You don't check how tired you are or how much you can handle. You just start living. That's the moment your nervous system has learned the new pattern: steady cortisol, stable testosterone, clear focus. You stop chasing energy and start owning it. When that happens, you'll understand something crucial. Transformation isn't about doing something once. It's about repeating it until your body learns to trust you again. Because this new foundation you've built, clarity, the stamina, spark, and calm, it only lasts if you stay consistent. The men who change for good are the ones who show up for themselves every morning, no matter what. And that's exactly what we'll dive into next. How to turn this ritual from a quick fix into a lifelong rhythm that never fades. If there's one truth I've seen in every man who's turned his life around, it's this. Real change doesn't come from what you do once, it comes from what you repeat. Your body doesn't respond to promises or motivation, it responds to patterns. And when your mornings become a pattern of nourishment instead of survival, that's when transformation takes root. Let me tell you about Charles, 68, a retired mechanic from Michigan. He came to me after trying every energy pill, tonic, and trend the internet could sell. "Doc," he said, "everything works for a week, then it fades." I looked him in the eye and told him the same thing I've told thousands of men: your body doesn't trust quick fixes anymore, you have to teach it stability. So we started simple: 1 teaspoon of MCT oil in his morning coffee, nothing fancy. The first few days, he felt nothing. But by week 2, the shaking in his hands eased. By week 3, his sleep deepened. And by the end of the month, he said, "For the first time in years, I feel steady." That's the power of consistency. It teaches your body to trust you again. Every system in your body, your hormones, your metabolism, your nervous system thrives on rhythm. When you start your morning the same way, with intention instead of urgency, your body begins to anticipate energy instead of craving it. Your cortisol no longer spikes out of fear, it rises with purpose. Your testosterone starts to work in rhythm again. Your brain chemistry smooths out.